In the sprawling, power-driven world of the young and the restless, few characters embody ambition and allure quite like Audra Charles. But this week, it wasn't just Audra's strategic brilliance or sharp tongue that caught fans' attention. It was Zuleyka Silver's commanding, multi-layered performance that made her the undeniable performer of the week. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. From seductive manipulation to raw vulnerability, Silver turned in a tour de force that redefined Audra not merely as Genoa City's latest schemer, but as a woman haunted by her own desires, regrets, and hunger for recognition. The result was a mesmerizing blend of fire and fragility, a reminder that, beneath every power play, lies a beating heart. A week where Audra owned every frame. It takes a lot to dominate a week on the young and the restless, especially with powerhouses like Victor Newman, Nikki, and Jack Abbott vying for center stage. But Zuleyka Silver did more than hold her own. She stole the spotlight. The storyline of the week placed Audra in the crosshairs of professional chaos and emotional entanglement. Her once promising partnership with Kyle Abbott continued to unravel amid a backdrop of corporate ambition, romantic tension, and whispered betrayal. What could have been just another soap triangle became a character study in control versus chaos, thanks to Silver's nuanced portrayal. Her scenes weren't about screaming or breaking down. Instead, they pulsed with quiet, dangerous energy. Every smirk, every calculated glance across a boardroom table, every flicker of disappointment when Kyle turned cold, it all told a story of a woman determined to survive, no matter who underestimates her. A dance of power and pain. Zuleyka Silver's artistry this week rested on her ability to play Audra as both the predator and the prey. When Kyle tried to push her out of Newman Media, the old Audra, the one who could cut down rivals with a single line, seemed ready to rise. Yet Silver chose to underplay that moment. Instead of lashing out, she let her silence simmer, her eyes flashing with barely concealed rage and heartbreak. It was a performance of restraint, far more powerful than any explosion. We saw the heartbreak beneath the ambition, the flicker of disbelief that the man she once shared passion and trust with could so easily dismiss her. It's in that duality that Silver thrives. Audra is ruthless, but never heartless. She's confident, but never unfeeling. When she later faced off with Nikki Newman, Silver shifted her energy entirely. No longer the spurned lover, Audra became the professional survivor. Her tone was clipped but respectful, her body language assertive yet deferential. You could almost feel Audra recalibrating in real time, reminding herself that emotion is a weakness she cannot afford in front of the Newmans. Silver didn't just play those beats, she lived them. Each pause, each glance carried purpose, making the audience feel every ounce of Audra's internal war. Zuleyka Silver's emotional palette. What makes Silver such a captivating performer is her ability to fill even the quietest scenes with unspoken emotion. She doesn't rely on melodrama, she trusts her audience to catch the subtleties. In one particularly memorable moment, Audra stood alone in her office after a confrontation with Kyle. The camera lingered as she removed her blazer, let out a shaky breath, and stared out the window of Newman Tower. No dialogue, no music cue, just the sound of her breathing. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Silver's performance there said everything: the loneliness of ambition, the exhaustion of pretending to be unbreakable, and the sting of realizing love was never enough to protect her. It was cinematic, intimate, and heartbreakingly human. Few soap actresses can sell that kind of vulnerability without losing their character's edge. Silver manages it flawlessly. She lets the mask slip, but only for us, the viewers. In the next scene, she's back to her polished, professional facade, lipstick reapplied, armor restored. The evolution of Audra Charles. Part of what makes this week's performance so riveting is how it reflects the larger evolution of Audra Charles since her arrival in Genoa City. When Zuleyka Silver first appeared on The Young and the Restless, Audra was painted as a sleek corporate climber, beautiful, ambitious, and dangerous. But week by week, Silver has peeled back new layers. What began as a supporting role has grown into one of the show's most complex female leads. Audra is no longer just a side player in Newman or Jabot drama. She's a cell-made storm, charting her own course in a world dominated by legacy families. This week, Silver reminded fans that Audra is not just a villainess. She's a woman born from struggle, one who's fought for every inch of success, often in rooms where she wasn't invited. There's an undercurrent of defiance in Silver's portrayal, a quiet rebellion against the notion that power belongs only to the Newmans and Abbotts. That's what makes her interactions with Nikki and Victor so electric. Even as they look down on her, Audra never loses her composure. Silver plays those moments with a steel spine and an almost imperceptible smirk, like she's thinking, "You may have the name, but I have the nerve." Chemistry that sparks and burns. No discussion of Zuleyka Silver's performance would be complete without talking about her magnetic chemistry with Michael Mealer, Kyle Abbott. This week, their scenes together reached a new emotional peak. What started as flirtation and strategic partnership has evolved into something volatile and deeply personal. In one unforgettable confrontation, Kyle accused Audra of manipulating him for power. Silver's response was breathtaking, not a defensive rant, but a trembling whisper, "Maybe I wanted you, not your last name." That line, delivered with a blend of bitterness, sadness, and lingering desire, hit like a thunderclap. You could see every emotion ripple across her face: anger at his accusation, pain from his rejection, and the last trace of affection she wished she could kill. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Silver and Mealer feed off each other brilliantly. Their on-screen tension feels unpredictable, one moment romantic, the next like they might destroy each other. And Silver knows exactly how to play that fine line, using her body language like a weapon, leaning in when Audra wants to disarm him, pulling back when she wants to remind him she doesn't need him. It's a masterclass in chemistry management, never forced, always dangerous. Command of dialogue and delivery. Soap scripts often lean into grand declarations and emotional showdowns, but Silver has a knack for grounding the dialogue in realism. When Audra spars with Kyle or Nikki, her delivery is razor-sharp, laced with controlled sarcasm and perfect timing. Yet when she's hurt, her voice softens not to beg, but to remind the audience that this woman, for all her cunning, still feels deeply. One of the standout exchanges came when Nikki tried to question her loyalty. "Nikki, you think ambition is enough to survive in this family's world?" Audra, pausing, steady gaze, "No. But I've survived worse than the Newmans." The way Silver delivered that line, steady, low, unshaken, was chilling. It felt like a promise and a warning. That's her magic. She takes dialogue that could sound like bravado and fills it with history and heart. You believe her, even when you know she's bluffing. Presence and poise, the physical storytelling. Part of Zuleyka Silver's brilliance lies in her physical performance. Audra's confidence doesn't come from shouting or stomping around. It's in her posture, her gaze, the tilt of her head when someone challenges her. This week, every movement felt intentional. When Kyle stormed into her office, Silver didn't retreat. She stood her ground, one hand casually on the desk, the other holding a pen, a silent reminder that this is her territory. When Nikki entered the room, Silver subtly shifted, crossing her arms, narrowing her stance, signaling that Audra was ready for battle. And then, in moments of vulnerability, Silver softened. Her shoulders slumped slightly, her expression dimmed. It was never overdone, it was human. Such control over body language is what separates a good performance from a great one. Silver doesn't just act Audra, she embodies her. The emotional architecture of a powerhouse. The real reason Zuleyka Silver stands out is because she understands the emotional architecture of her character. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Audra's ambition isn't born of greed, it's survival instinct. Her flirtations aren't purely manipulative, they're armor. And her confidence isn't innate, it's rehearsed, perfected over years of proving herself in rooms that never believed she belonged there. This week, Silver gave us glimpses of all those truths. When Audra's expression faltered after Kyle's rejection, we saw the little girl inside, the one who learned long ago that being underestimated could be deadly. When she sparred with Nikki, we saw the woman who refuses to bow to the so-called royalty of Genoa City. And when she stood alone in her office, regrouping after the chaos, we saw a warrior quietly nursing her wounds, vowing to rise again. That's the kind of emotional layering that turns a soap character into a legend. A star who's only getting started. Zuleyka Silver has been steadily building toward this kind of recognition since she joined The Young and the Restless. But this week marks a turning point, not just for Audra Charles, but for Silver herself. It's the kind of performance that signals an actress entering her prime. She's confident enough to take risks, skilled enough to carry entire storylines, and magnetic enough to make even the simplest scenes feel like event television. What's most exciting is how much potential still lies ahead. Audra's story is far from over, and Silver's range ensures that whatever direction the writers take, redemption, revenge, or romance, she'll make it unforgettable. Fans have started comparing her to classic YNR icons like Phyllis Summers and Hilary Curtis, women who command attention and reshape the game with every move. But Silver isn't imitating anyone. She's carving her own space, blending sophistication, sensuality, and strategic brilliance into something entirely her own. Audience and critical response. The fan response to Zuleyka Silver's performance has been electric. Across social media, Audra Charles has become one of the most discussed characters of the week. Viewers praised Silver's ability to make Audra both relatable and ruthless, someone they love to hate, yet can't stop rooting for. Critics echoed that sentiment, with several soap blogs naming her the standout performer of the week. Many noted that Silver has brought a cinematic quality to her scenes, a blend of subtlety and intensity rarely seen in daytime drama. One fan wrote, "Zuleyka Silver gives Audra Charles the soul of a survivor. You can't look away when she's on screen." And it's true. Silver commands attention not by demanding it, but by earning it. Looking ahead, what this means for Audra. After a week like this, it's clear that Audra Charles is on the cusp of a major turning point. Whether she rises or falls, Zuleyka Silver has positioned her as one of the most vital forces in Genoa City's power hierarchy. If the writers lean into her complexity, giving her more moments of introspection, more power struggles, more scenes where she must choose between love and ambition, Silver will continue to thrive. Imagine Audra forming an uneasy alliance with Victor or clashing with Phyllis over corporate control. Picture her reclaiming Newman Media not through manipulation, but sheer brilliance. Silver has shown she can handle it all: the seductress, the strategist, the survivor, and the soul. Final thoughts. Zuleyka Silver's defining moment. This week on The Young and the Restless, Zuleyka Silver didn't just deliver a great performance, she delivered the performance. One that redefined who Audra Charles is and what she can become. She reminded viewers that, even in a town full of power players, there's something uniquely thrilling about watching a woman who's both brilliant and broken, calculating yet capable of love. Silver's portrayal is fearless in its subtlety and captivating in its honesty. She makes Audra someone we don't just watch, we feel. In a genre built on heightened emotion and high-stakes drama, Zuleyka Silver proves that sometimes the most powerful moments come not from shouting, but from silence, from the way a single tear lingers, or the way a woman straightens her shoulders after heartbreak. It's artistry. It's evolution. It's the mark of a star whose light is only getting brighter. And that's why Zuleyka Silver is the young and the restless performer of the week. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.